You're listening to At the Mic with Keith, an independent podcast production.
Welcome to another edition of At the Mic. I'm your host, Keith Malinak. In this episode, I'm joined by my friend Brad Staggs in what will be part one of a two-part conversation. Brad has been a mainstay at The Blaze and now handles the enterprise that is Mojo 50 Radio that he started with our late friend, Doc Thompson. Brad sat down, discussed his varied background, which includes an appearance on a soap opera and a stint at the Nashville Network. Brad discussed his connection with the guy who started professional bull riding, but his cat invaded the studio during our conversation and stole the show. Here's part one of my conversation with Brad Staggs on At the Mic. Brad, how are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm telling you, life is so good I don't even know. I mean, it's just, wow. That's what I just to be in the presence of Keith Malinak has made my weekday year.
Wow.
Month.
Has it been that bad?
I don't get out much.
Obviously.
I don't get out much.
All right. Well, I appreciate you making time today. In case you aren't familiar, Brad and I were coworkers over at The Blaze back in the day. Brad, he did everything in the building. Literally, you did everything.
Some things I got arrested for.
Well, still, I wasn't going to go there.
Right. Well, and you forgot that technically we shared a wife for a while.
I'm sorry?
Well, Carrie was my TV wife. The same time she was your at-home wife.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Seriously, I'm not kidding when I say Brad is so talented and can do like the on-air stuff. He does his morning show on Mojo 50. TV, radio, building maintenance. The man can do it all. He is the most versatile employee I've ever worked with.
Oh.
And
how much money do I have to pay you for this?
The check's already cleared.
Okay, good. Well,
check is already cleared.
Good. Then keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So, so catch people up that may not be familiar. What are you doing these days, and where can people find you?
Well, after I left The Blaze, I went over to work with Doc Thompson at Mojo 50, and then he went jogging in front of a train, which really just he. Maybe he saw everything that was coming back, when the world fell apart, and he just decided he was not going to be a part of it. I don't know. Amtrak decided for him. So then I got to sit in his chair and do a 3-hour radio show for several months, almost a year, and then cut it back to 2 hours because you know what? 3 hours sitting and talking at behind a microphone is exhausting.
Right.
I mean, it is. I sweat, tears, blood. I've given it all.
Yeah,
but that's what I've been doing. That and the police investigations into my background. Other than that, it's been kind of quiet.
And you say that with the 2 hours and 3 hours of radio. I mean, there is a complete difference in doing a 3-hour show and doing a 2-hour show.
Yeah, there is.
See, like a 2-hour show, you almost feel like, man, I have so much more stuff I could have gotten to.
Yep.
A 3-hour show, you're like, oh my gosh, I should have stopped at 2 hours.
The last hour is brutal. If you do 3 hours, it really is. The last hour, you for whatever reason, you feel like you're digging out of a hole.
Totally.
2 hours, but you're right. At the end of 2 hours, you go, I could have gone longer, but then you stop, you think about it, and you realize, leave them wanting more.
Leave them wanting more. So you were born in, where is it, Boulder City, Nevada?
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm always chastised in every walk of life. It's Nevada. You were born there, so what do you say?
Nevada.
You say Nevada?
Yeah. You can always tell the outsiders, the outlanders, the outliers. It's Boulder City, Nevada. It is the town that was built to house the workers who built Hoover Dam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Which, ironically, when I die, I want to be dumped into Lake Mead. If there still is a Lake Mead, well, not whole, I mean cremated first.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It would be kind of weird just to...
That'd make the news.
It would.
Wow.
I would be, I'd make headlines even after I was dead. But I want to be cremated and thrown into the lake because I was born in front of the dam, and I want to be buried behind it.
Like, was this were you born there for a reason, or...
My mom and dad loved each other very much, and one night... magic.
I don't need the setup to the birth. I'm wondering why were you born right in front of it? Was your mom stuck in traffic, or what?
Well,
happened?
technically, the town is in front of it. I wasn't really born right in front of it.
That's what I was thinking.
The hospital
What a weird place to be born.
And again, ironically, it is the country's first master plan community.
Really?
Yep. There is no building there over 3 stories.
What year were they building this town?
When did Hoover Dam get built? That was back in the 30s.
Here I am Googling. Just kidding.
I think in 1930 something. Whenever they built the dam.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and I wasn't prepared to go down the Hoover Dam road, but that thing is ridiculous.
It's huge. It is huge. Yeah. It is, and the weird thing is, you used to be able to, back in the day when I was in high school, you could during we had the adventure club trips, and we would whitewater raft down the Colorado River, and you could drive right down, literally in front of the dam, like. You could throw a rock and hit the dam and put your rafts into the water.
And if you time it just right, you might see a baby entering the world.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how I was discovered. But I mean, now you can't even drive over the dam.
What?
Because after 9/11, they built another road that goes like across the canyon. I think it's called Black Canyon.
That's boring.
I know. And they made the stupid walls on the side of the bridge so high that if you're driving along, we were in a Jeep and we went, you can't see over the side. I know. It's nuts.
Gosh. The guys that died building that would be so upset
right
now.
And I think there's 11 of them in the dam.
Right, something like that.
So, yeah. That could be an urban legend.
Now, one of them's name's Jimmy?
Could be. Well, no, he does. Let's see.
Mr.
No, he's under, what stadium is it? Isn't it?
He's Meadowlands.
Yes.
New Jersey.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So...
What other conspiracy theories can we come up with?
Oh, we've got time. We've got time. So one of the questions I ask when I send the email to prospective guests is, where did you grow up? And Brad's response was, I haven't yet.
Right. See what I did there?
I do see what
Hold
you
on.
did.
I happen to have a bell here.
We have sound effects today.
Yes, my. Or I could shake my maraca.
I like it. I am actually, I'm the guest today. I am in Brad's studio, so he's the home team today. So I am.
I like the way you said that. That's a little weird. I mean, I think that deserves one of those.
I don't know. No, I don't think
okay.
so. I don't
it's
think
all right.
so.
Don't be embarrassed.
So I am surrounded by just awesome studio paraphernalia that Brad has accumulated over the years, and we'll talk about your past.
Some of it's stolen.
Some of it that the cops don't know yet.
Right.
I love how you have a disco light happening. Like I'm trying to read my notes, and I printed up the email responses, and the streak of green is constantly going across. The green light is just like, and
disco lounge.
Yes, I love it, and we are surrounded by such a cool cat.
The cat is in here too.
Tell us about this cute kitty cat that is just walking around like it owns the place, because it probably does.
He does. Cats generally own the place. He's the mouser, resident mouser. He is about, we've had him for a while now. We got him at the pound. He replaced the cat that, I think the cat we used to have, Cooper, I think she got into a scrape with a mountain, or a bobcat, literally in the alley, and died about a little over a year ago.
Oh.
I know. And so, it's lonely without a cat or a dog.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I have a cat is because I'm non-committal in most things in life. Mm-hmm. And cats, you don't have to have a solid commitment to, because you can leave for a weekend and just you make sure they can get outside and they can go kill their own food.
That's right.
Dogs, not so much. A dog will starve to death if you leave it alone. A cat?
That makes no sense. How are dogs smarter than cats, but yet dogs can't take care of themselves?
Right.
And cats,
I know,
can go, because you're right. We've left when we had cats. We would leave for a long time. I think our longest might have been 5 days or whatever.
Yep.
And in the garage, I left big buckets of water.
Yeah.
Don't drown yourself. You
right.
know, and a big old crate of food.
Yep.
And you come back and they're like totally fine.
Yeah. I mean, they may give you the cold shoulder for a day or two just to prove that they can. But other than that, you don't have to really worry about it.
And I had a cat that played fetch. Right, back in the day, and that was that's a high watermark for cats. If they can play fetch.
Yes. Well, and this one, he comes when you call him. If you, when we're in the backyard, if you whistle to him, he comes running like a dog, and then immediately starts to ignore you after he realizes he acted like a dog.
Does he? So it's like, oh no, the secret's out.
Yes.
I'm actually smarter than they think.
Yeah.
Does he come to his name yet?
He thinks his name is. It's like that African tribe that speaks and clicks.
Click. Yeah. Hold on. I've never had a chance to tell this story, and I'm telling it right now. And by the way, I would like to point out, so subtle is Brad, and I mean that, is he knows that I ask and I don't even think I've had to ask you, I try not to timestamp these podcasts because I don't know exactly when it's going to go on.
Right.
Already twice now that I've caught, has he avoided making references three times in the first few minutes of this podcast. He's avoided making references to time because he doesn't know when it's going to air. Right. Yeah, we've had our cat for, not too long now. Just
I am a professional. I am a professional.
But in college, I had a roommate who thought he was so smart, and he wanted you to think that he was so smart. And in reality, not so much. So I had another friend come over and visit me there in our room where me and my oh so smart roommate were. Mm-hmm. I said, "Hey Paul, what's going on? Yeah, how was your day?" And he just goes, and I go, "I'm sorry." He goes, "I just said work sucks." So then my roommate, who wanted everybody to think he was so smart, goes, "Yeah, I heard the work part in that. I didn't quite pick up the rest of." I'm thinking, come on, man, stop that.
Was that about the time that The Gods Must Be Crazy came out?
I don't know.
It must have been, because that's where that got real big. Yeah, it's the.
I was in college, 94 to 98.
I can't remember when that movie came out, but it was where the Coke bottle drops out of the sky. It's an African tribe. The Coke bottle, somebody on an airplane or something, and it's like a Cessna or something is flying over. They throw a Coke bottle out of the airplane, and it lands on the ground, and the tribe finds it, and they think it's a gift from the gods. and the plot, I can't remember what happens after that, but it's a tribe that clicks and pops.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called The Gods Must Be Crazy.
That's funny. Okay, so we're sharing the studio space with Doc the cat.
His name is actually Michael Nether Cooper, MD, who?
Well, I want to call him Doc.
Well, his first name is Doc, but that's just his official name. Doc, okay. Dr. Michael Nether Cooper, MD, who?
Named after your friend and mine,
yes.
Doc Thompson.
Or Doctor Who, or another kitty, or no. It keeps me from calling him Nether because I want to call him the name of the last cat because they all look alike.
I'm watching him right now. He's going back and forth between being mesmerized by the green strobe lights bouncing around the studio,
and that's where you see cats prove that they're not that smart.
Right.
You could a laser pointer and they will go bananas, and it's like, see, you're dumber than I thought.
And he's also trying to tunnel out of the room right now.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Well, if you put a cat on the other side of the door, they want on this side. Right. If they're on this side, they want on the other side. It's just...
I love it. So if you ever hear any meowing going on in the background...
That's just me.
It's just Brad.
The cat's out of the bag.
There we go. I love it. Okay, so how many siblings did you have growing up?
Let's see. Well, my oldest sister named me. I had two sisters and a brother, but my oldest sister named me. See, here's where part gets sad. I never knew my older sister because when I was born, she was 18. She named me, got married, moved out. And then the next time I saw her, she was in a coma, and then she was in a coma for like 12 years and then died.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm full of happy stories.
Wow. Tell me something about another sibling.
Thanks for my brother's dead.
Okay. How about, do you have any other siblings you could tell me about?
My other sister's alive, but she doesn't like me.
Okay. Well, then
my mom and dad they're both dead.
That was a fun trip down memory lane with Brad Staggs. So you grew up in Lancaster, California.
Yep.
How long were you there?
Let's see. So 79, 80, 75, 85, 10, 14 years? No, well, 10 years.
Okay, most people say I lived there until I moved away at age 14.
I moved I moved in California. I'm trying to remember when I moved out of Lancaster. I think that was 82. So 75 to 82, I lived in Lancaster, or maybe 83, and then moved down to L.A., which we call down below.
Whoa.
We're going down below.
Okay.
Or over the hill.
He's saying that as I am taking off my shirt because it's hot, and
it is
a t-shirt underneath. I'm not.
It's very warm in here, isn't it?
I just now all of a sudden
I can turn on the fan. I think it's the candle.
It's the
candle. I tried to set the mood for when you came in. I mean, it smells good in here. There's a candle burning. There's a cat running around. There's a disco light. But no, I lived
It's atmosphere. I'll tell you that.
It is. Lancaster back then was a It was a nice little town. It was like
It's like
60,000
a farming
people.
community, right? Or am I wrong?
It's the Antelope Valley is Sorwell. Yeah, I mean the Edwards Air Force Base is nearby. It's really the jets and stuff. It's the aerospace industry.
Oh, okay.
NASA's out there. Jet Propulsion Laboratories in the area.
Wow.
Lockheed, Rockwell, all of those. And in contemporary terms, it is actually right next to Palmdale, which is in the past year or so the trials of Gabriel Hernandez. Is it or Fernandez on Netflix? That big documentary.
Boy, I don't watch much.
It's that Palmdale's right next to Lancaster. So it's a very sad story about child abuse. But so there you go. So what other depressing stories?
Well, how did you get to Nashville?
I drove.
I swear. Is this seriously we're going to do this? By the way, I think your cat has a hairball issue going on. Something just happened.
The funny thing is, I did when I first, my wife at the time, I can't remember which of the seven that was, but the wife at the time had a sister in Nashville. I couldn't get arrested at the time in California. So it was like, well, I'll go back and look for a job in radio in Nashville.
Wait, that's always a good place to look.
The year before that, I didn't know where Nashville was.
But had you already been in radio?
I'd been in radio, but I didn't. I didn't know where Nashville. I mean, I'd never.
Your cat is knocking over items right now.
No, you don't get up there. Get up. Yeah.
Awesome.
See, this is great. This is great radio right here.
But I thought his name was.
No, well, it's unless he's in trouble, and then it's if he had a middle name.
So how did you get into radio to begin with?
I knew I wanted to be in radio when I was in 6th grade. Loman and Barkley on KFI out in L.A.
Wow.
They were funny. They were it was AM radio at the time. They had a really entertaining show. They played music. They did little skits. They had, it seemed like they had good camaraderie. It seemed like they were best friends. I later found out that there were times they couldn't stand each other, and that Al Loman actually pissed off Roger Barkley to the point that Roger decided he didn't want to do it anymore, and he quit. And so then they both went there. They paired Al Loman with Gary Owens, who was on Laugh-In. The voice of Laugh-In, and so you had two funny guys trying to do a show, which didn't work. And then Roger Barkley, I think, died of cancer, and then Al Loman died of something else. So there's another sad story. Thanks for bringing that one up.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's good. That's good. So
but they were funny.
Trajectory here.
Loman and Barkley were very funny, and they were at the time a highly rated broadcast program in LA, and they inspired me to be in radio, and I went to broadcasting school, which is an excuse to spend 3 months and pay somebody $2,000. But it's
he's using a TV as a seesaw. Just be careful.
Now he's just going to lay down on it. Good.
I'm telling you, TV sitting on top of a box.
There's never a dull moment in here. Not with a cat around.
What an awesome cat. See, I think we all of us that got into radio, because you said you were in 6th grade.
Yeah.
I was in 3rd grade when I was like, man, I really want to do this. I think we all had those iconic radio stations that we listened to that really motivated us to join that club.
Yeah.
And for me, it was WSB in Atlanta,
right?
With the various shows that I could try to explain, but there's just no way to. He just scared himself badly. You did that, dude. The TV's not chasing you, man.
You see, it's the hours of entertainment. It's the best part.
Oh, the good stuff. The most entertainment is when you come home and you get to pick up cat puke.
Yes.
That's the most fun with cats and entertainment right there.
I had a cat skin a rabbit while I was away, and decided to bring it in as a gift.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Yeah, skin rabbits are fun.
When I was a kid and I was living with my mom, we had a cat that brought into the house an injured bird that was half dead. So you can just imagine the insanity that ensued from that with the bird fluttering around. And so she runs out of the house, goes across the street to our redneck neighbor, who nothing bothers him, Dwayne. It just came to me, his name. Dwayne!
See all the memories?
Dwayne!
All the memories that come up.
Come over here! What?
Look at this bird!
Get this bird out of my
The best part is when you come home and all you see are 4 feet, a tail, and the head of a mouse.
Oh,
they've eaten everything, and they leave the 4 feet, the head, and the tail in right where they should be.
They're practical.
Yes,
they don't. I mean, they're not letting the good stuff go to waste.
Do you know why they play with it? Like the mouse, they bat it around beforehand.
I don't think I
It
do.
literally scares the poop out of them. They don't want to eat because they're going to be eating it. That's why they do it.
Well, hold on a second. Let's get some cats hanging out with shrimp before they catch them, because I don't like the poop and the shrimp. I know. Come on.
I know, you're right. That should be.
How can we do that?
Right.
The government spends money, on like studying the mating habits of
the tsetse fly.
Tsetse fly, but we can't get a study that scares the poop out of the shrimp before we catch them.
Right.
Come
See,
on.
These are the problems that should be addressed by the government.
So anyhow, yeah. So we've had cats our whole lives,
you were telling me about Atlanta, and the radio station inspired you to do what we're doing right now, what we are doing together here,
which is talk about
room.
Cats and the animals they kill. That's why I went to school. So anyhow, But you mentioned that about the cats and stuff. I remember one time we had 2 cats, Salt and Pepper. And
Pepper or Peppa?
No, this is pre-Peppa.
Oh,
this is just.
I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it real good.
So anyhow, we're backing out of the driveway, and Salt and Pepper are staring way up at this tree that's about way up there. I'm not good with math and numbers. My mom and I were gone for 10 minutes, and we both said, yeah, they'll never catch that squirrel that they were staring at from the ground below. We came back, it was waiting in the carport for us.
Wow.
So, I mean, cats, man, they're killers.
But Cooper, the last cat that we had, caught a live bat and brought it into the house. A bat.
Oh, yeah? Well, my cat
brought a bear in.
Yeah,
bear. It was a black grizzly bear.
I wouldn't have believed it myself. I hadn't seen it.
I did watch Cooper run up to a fox and pop it right in the face. I'm like, Cooper, get away.
Get back here, man.
They'll eat you, you crazy. Although foxes are in the feline family, so she maybe it was a cousin.
Oh, maybe it was a cousin. Okay.
Fox in the house.
Uh-huh.
Or something.
Something like that.
Something.
Now, you didn't go to college, right?
No, I tried. I went for like a half a semester and realized it was work.
Right.
I was like
hindsight 2020.
Yeah, it was. I thought I wanted to be an accountant because my friend was, and that's the reason I went to junior college. It was like, I could probably learn that, and that would be like a backup thing. And then I was like, oh wait, you didn't tell me this was about numbers. And I hate math.
Right.
Ugh. But yeah, I went for like a semester, and then I went, no, this is, if they can't get everything they need you to do done in class, I mean, they expect you to go home and do work?
I don't think
Please.
so. Yeah.
Somewhere there is a transcript of my grades from college or junior college, and they are all, I think, I's or F's.
Incomplete
or
fail.
Just failed.
So nothing, huh?
This coming after I was Boys State. I went to Boys State. I was salutatorian in high school. I was bad to the bone. I was smart. Boys State, that is a, I wish I had the certificate in here. Boys State, and another example of, I really should have researched it before, because they asked me to try out for Boys State, and it's politician training.
Ooh.
I didn't know that, but it's where they take you, and in California, they take you to Sacramento, and you spend time on the Sacramento University of California at Sacramento campus, and you do all these exercises that are designed to allow you to become a political leader. Well, when I got there, I realized I was in the company of a bunch of would-be politicians, and I went, oh my gosh, I hate these people. So I got the award for least participation. I found a way to sneak off the campus every day. And to this day, politicians just irritate me.
Yeah, how'd you get a certificate then? They just...
I got the certificate just for attending. Attending
enough.
I went, didn't I? I was in Sacramento.
Okay.
I just...
You'd never get into politics is what you're saying? You don't want to kiss babies?
I didn't say that, but it's just politics is just so
nasty
anymore.
Right.
And it was then too. It wasn't
hey,
as nasty as it is now.
But at least you're in a business that is pure as the driven snow. It's called radio.
Right, exactly. It's where, you know what, you are rewarded for hard work. You're rewarded for all the years of training and the years that you've put in.
He's got jokes, y'all.
Yeah, it's it is its own reward.
Uh-huh.
That's how we say that.
You keep telling yourself that. Uh-huh. So tell us about, because you've held many jobs. And I don't know that it's I got into radio and television. I've been broadcasting ever since. Have some of these jobs happened along the way outside of broadcasting, or was it your non-broadcasting career path, then all broadcasting? How'd that work out?
I have a short attention span. Mm-hmm. TV, well, here's another. I used to, when I was a kid, I would play television with my mom and dad. I'd play game show host.
Okay.
I'd put them in the closet. It was one of those closets we lived in the apartment. And
did they do any hanky-panky while they were there waiting?
Those doors were closed. I didn't know. I don't know. They had those sliding doors. I put chairs in there. They'd sit on either side. I'd slide the door open.
That's cool.
Hey, you're contestant number 1. Do you want to blah, 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 whatever.
What was your fake microphone? What'd you use?
I didn't use them. I think it was a paper towel thing. But cool. I used those in a box, like a wrapping paper tube and a box to be a camera. And I've always been fascinated by cameras. So I knew going into radio that I kind of wanted to do television of some sort. And when I was working in radio out in California, I auditioned for a movie called, I think it was called California Hot Tubs.
This sounds... this sounds like it belongs on the other side of the beaded curtain there.
It was... the audition literally was, I walk into the casting director's office and it was, tell us a little bit here, blah, blah, blah. All right, now take off your shirt.
Wow.
Well, I'm not getting this one. I was like, hey, here you go. And it actually, they made the movie. I think it's called California Hot Tubs. But I did audition also for Days of Our Lives, the soap opera, and I got that a small part in that, what's called an under 5. So I was a photographer. We were shooting one of the characters had ended up being stranded on a deserted island with some other character, and they had done the love thing out there. And so it was my job to ask him a couple of questions, and I had forgotten my line. I got so wrapped up in the fact that, I can't believe, and I almost forgot the line. I almost forgot my cue. So I'm standing there, and that's also where I learned how to not lean on set walls. Uh-huh. They're not very sturdy. They're not real.
Oh, snap.
So I almost knocked a wall over. Then I almost forgot my cue. And you can, somewhere I have the tape, and you can watch where
Is it on YouTube? And if not, we need to put it up there for us.
It will be.
Yes.
I'm putting all that stuff up there.
That's
because there needs to be a shrine to me somewhere. But I remember thinking, and you can see it in my eyes where I go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to say something here.
Oh, no. How many takes did they use?
No, soap operas, there's no such thing as take 2. You just,
so is that
keep right
why the
going.
Acting was always so horrible? Is because it was one and done? Huh?
It is one and done. They line up, all the sets are lined up down 2 sides of the studio, and they take the cameras from set to set to set, and if you forget a lot, you just keep going. Somebody jumps in and says something, and they just keep going. You don't get a second take. Wow. I mean, even I don't think it would matter if the set caught on fire. They'd work that into the storyline somehow, and because they really don't have any time to redo anything. So
you used to talk about wood.
I did. I was a spokesperson for the Southern Pine Awareness Network.
Wait, hold on. There's a Southern Pine Awareness Network?
And that is, the acronym is SPAN, S-P-A-N, Southern Pine Awareness Network. And I think that was after I was doing stuff for Do It Yourself Network. But I was the spokesperson for that, and that was fun. Kim Drew was the person who hired me. I love Kim Drew. Kim Drew has a great PR company, Drew PR, out in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
Or close to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so I made, I've always loved working with wood. And I enjoy making stuff because in the workshop, and social distancing is a term that's still with us. I mean, I don't think it'll ever not be with us now. We in the carpenters, woodworkers, we've and remember, Jesus was a carpenter.
Oh yeah,
we were all social distancing before social distancing was cool. You go into the workshop, you're all by yourself.
That's right. Yeah, because you
stuff.
are very talented with with wood.
You're so sweet.
Like what are some of the things that you have built that you're really proud of in your life?
Well, let's see, what have I built I'm proud of? That I take old magic tricks and restore them. You know what? I one year built 3 little boxes, like 3 little pigs, but I made 3 different boxes for 3 different people, but they were all the same box. In other words, I started with the same box and then designed each one differently. So just the aesthetics of it were different. And I'm pretty proud of those because one had Bigfoot on it. My friend Ron likes Bigfoot. So it was a Yeti box.
Oh, that's cool.
Another one had a crackle paint job, made that for Beth. And then a third one I made for handicapped Jeff, who was a kind of just, he liked the magic look, so I made a magic looking box for him. And they all have secret bottoms.
Whoa.
The box is not the people.
Oh.
So, so each one of them could
that's cool.
Yeah.
Like a little magic show or something.
Yeah.
If they want
Well, or you could hide dollars.
or hide stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, you just reminded me of an experience I had. Like, I remember it was a Burger King toy, and it was like a magic trick where you would put something on one side and you'd flip the plastic, and then it would go away. And I kid you not.
See?
I kid you not. And I was so upset. And you can figure out why. I put $1 in it
Right.
one time, and I did the magic. Brad, I'm not kidding you. It disappeared. It was not on the other side of the false backing. I'm looking around. I'm just now having this flashback here.
Where did it go?
I'm looking around. It wasn't a windy day. I'm looking around all over the place for this missing dollar bill.
Real magic, wasn't it?
I was practicing to do the show later, to do the trick later for everybody.
You're a witch.
And then I was like, I'm not doing this.
He's a witch.
I'm not doing this. I'm not going to go broke doing this trick.
See?
Money vanishes when I put it in this little thing.
See, it's kind of like Penn Jillette. He got mad when he realized magic wasn't really magic.
Oh, wait, it's not?
No.
Oh.
Magic isn't really magic. Why he says
that
everything's
case-
an illusion. What you think you saw something disappear, but it really didn't.
You know what? In that case, Burger King owes me $1.
I would, with interest.
With interest?
And
like we're talking 1982-ish?
You got some suffering in there too.
Hold on. Now this I'm actually taking the time. I'm not going to look up Hoover Dam facts. Okay? This show isn't gonna go that far. But what I will do is do some currency converter. Let's see. What's this year?
What year was it? 82?
About 82-ish, right?
All right, well
So let's just see if it was 1982. Do you have a guess?
about 40 years. At I think you should go 7% interest?
Well, let's see. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just doing the inflation thing
Oh,
here.
well, yeah, inflation.
Oh, whoops.
But you're forgetting the pain and suffering. That's where you're going to get
Make me whole.
Yeah.
So $1 in 1982 is only worth $2.68 today. $2.68. But the pain and the suffering is worth a good $6.
No, it's on $6 million.
$6 million.
Yes.
Burger King, you've got the money. Pay up.
Yeah, they do. And let's see. Hoover Dam was built. It was built in what year? Joint Resolution of Congress in 1947.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, thousands of cost over, blah, blah, blah. Originally known as Boulder Dam from 1933, it was officially renamed Hoover Dam. Do you know why they renamed it Hoover Dam?
What? Because of the FBI
Because
director.
of Hoover, President Herbert Hoover at the time. But then I think they renamed it Boulder Dam because
then people didn't like him.
Well, it was Roosevelt. There was some political. back and
Roosevelt was
forth.
a jerk to Hoover. Hoover went over there and did the.
See, you know about the presidents.
Okay.
I'm not. Well, I don't know as much about as you do because you're like one of those presidential geeks.
Yeah, but Hoover is who helped Europe after World War II, and so thankfully, when FDR passed, Truman let Hoover help. Anyway, I'm getting into geekdom here, but my point is, I could totally see something petty with FDR and Hoover. Now that you talk about that,
that's why they did that. So it's gone back and forth between Hoover Dam, Boulder Dam, and all of that.
Okay. Tell me about being a yogurt machine operator.
Oh, that was one of my first jobs, and it was in a little strip shop next to Gemco. Gemco was a big store I also worked at, but it was like one of the first membership department stores. But the yogurt machine.
Time out. You got to put the pause button here. We'll get back to the yogurt story in a second. membership department stores. This
Yeah.
is something I'm not familiar with.
Don't you? Like Costco or Sam's Club
okay.
today.
I'm sorry. When you're saying department stores, I'm thinking
but
Macy's or JCPenney.
Well, Gemco sold everything from clothes to stereo equipment to furniture to groceries.
Okay.
And you had to have a membership card.
Yeah, I understand now.
So you walk in, when we would always, being the kids that we were, we'd walk in and we'd like try to show them just some fake card that wasn't a Gemco membership, because they would always just look at me, okay. That was where I learned how to, be a con. Just to be a con man.
But I'm saying not you. What's the point? What is the point of them checking IDs at Costco and stuff like that when I'm not going to be able to leave without showing the cashier?
You're it's an elitist thing.
It's a privilege just to enter the store.
Pretty much.
It's the worst time.
It's all an
I'm trying to
illusion.
get the kids in here. Let's get the cart going. And crap, this lady needs to see my cart. I'm digging around in my wallet and stuff. It's stupid.
It's all a game. It's all a game. It's all an illusion. It's the Council of Foreign Relations, the G7 nations, the Trilateral Commission.
Okay.
It's all, and Bigfoot.
Where's my dollar Burger
So,
King?
$6,000,001.
So,
but no, yogurt machine was great. It was a frozen yogurt place, and we had to. It was one of the very first. It was when frozen yogurt was just becoming the hip thing, and so we had these little stupid visors that said yogurt machine on them that were horrible, and little T-shirts that said yogurt machine, and we would pour. It's the reason I hate frozen. Well, I don't hate it. I have to get past. If somebody wants to, I do, because we could eat all the frozen yogurt we wanted to. And when you can eat all that you want to,
oh boy,
eventually you just get sick of it. So now, and I mean, it's good if I have it now, but the thought of it, I was like, ugh.
I gotcha. Yeah, don't dwell on it.
No.
Frozen yogurt flashback. Good name for a band.
Thank you.
But
and we used to clean out the machines at night, and had to pour the stuff. I've seen.
No.
Yeah, I know how the sausage is made.
No, I don't want to talk about it now.
Not pretty.
I like that stuff, and I don't want.
I know.
Okay.
You should see what happens in those machines.
I don't want
Just
to.
saying.
So you were a paper boy.
I was a paper.
What newspaper?
Herald Examiner. The
Where?
Los Angeles Herald Examiner. Okay. When I delivered in Lancaster, California, Peggy Tipton was my whatever you call it. She's like the
handler
point person. Yeah, she was my handler.
Boss.
And
I mean, there's a technical term.
It was
it's called
the good old
boss.
days. Yeah, she was the boss. And so I would go get the papers from her every morning. I think she dropped them off. She dropped off the big bundle of papers at the front door. I would get them, and you would, you'd fold them and put the rubber band on them. If it was raining, you put them in a bag. Then you put them on your little bag that you
I always felt sorry for my friends who were paper boys, and it was raining, because then it just slowed everything down.
Well, you know how else you can get wet while you're delivering papers is if there's a pool. And so part of my paper route was in all the apartments that were up and down the street. There was an apartment complex, like 4 doors down, had a nice pool. And I had to throw the paper over the railing. So I kind of had to lean out, throw the paper, which kind of, if you've got that heavy bag on you, you're still on your bike, you throw it, and it, the equal and opposite action and all that physics stuff, which happened to be right next to the pool. And I just boosh.
Oh no!
Right into the pool, papers, bike, the whole 9 yards, and
so it wasn't a day where the papers were extra wrapped.
No, it was not. And somebody came out and told me to get out of the pool.
What? Get out of the pool?
Yes.
Did you say I'm not in here to hang out?
I think I said something along those lines.
Something that Peggy Tipton you didn't want to hear.
Right, exactly. And I remember going home and not delivering the rest of the papers because I was just mortified.
Sure.
And,
and plus the papers are probably all
they were wet. I mean, you
soggy.
can't read them anymore. So what's the...
Is there... I've always wondered, is there any margin for error on a paper route? In other words, let's just say you have 50 customers that you're delivering to. Do you take 50 papers, or is there 52?
I think it was like 50. Yeah, because I think she delivered them in like increments of 5. So if you had, it was whatever. And so if you had 50, I think you got 55 papers, something. So there was always a little padding.
I got you. So the reason I was asking is, like, let's just say as you're chucking it, you accidentally throw 2 for whatever reason.
Exactly.
You don't want to get to the end of your route and go, oh, crap, I'm short one. And then you have to backtrack, and that would be totally
I think
annoying.
you always got a couple extra, and that way you could, swat flies. Throw them at stuff. Fall in a pool.
So how did you then get into radio and television, the world of broadcasting? Oh, by the way, he's also a book author.
I have.
You've got a very helpful handyman book for people that don't injure themselves just by the sight of power tools.
You mean Spend a Little, Save a Lot Home Improvement?
That's the book,
Is
Brad.
this the book?
Tell me more.
This was published by it was F&W Publications. They also published Popular Woodworking Magazine.
Uh-huh.
My friend David Teal was the not only did he write for Popular Woodworking, but he headed up the book division after he left that job, and he asked me to write a book on home improvement, and so I said okay.
Yeah, it's good.
And
it's like easy to follow along. Like
is it?
idiots
See, I look back at it and I don't remember. I mean, I'll read a portion of it, and I don't remember writing it.
Wait
and it's
a
like,
minute.
with this particular tool, you can adjust the settings to detect specific temperature variations. If an object or area is hotter or colder than your base reading, it will be significant. It'll be signified by a red or a blue light. And I'm like, I don't remember. I mean, I know I did, but I just don't remember doing it.
I mean, were you drunk? I mean, that's
possibly,
you probably,
but
maybe that's why I enjoy it so much.
I stressed out when I was writing it.
Oh,
it was
really?
like the most, and it shouldn't have been the most stressful thing I've ever done.
Should have been like a term paper. I mean,
No,
this stuff comes
it was
naturally
weird.
for you.
It was really weird because I put such a mind. It was but really bad what I did to my brain when I was doing
As
that.
evidenced by that conversation.
Right,
there.
exactly. But for whatever reason, it just freaked me out when I was doing it, and I think I did. I think the book only cost me $100.
And remind us the name of the book again, please.
You mean Spend a Little, Save a Lot Home Improvement, which just rolls off the tongue. Because we wanted to call it Penny Pinching Home Improvement, and the folks at a certain big box home improvement store that is orange, won't name anything.
Never heard of it.
They felt that for whatever reason that would cause people to spend less money when they went in to buy stuff.
Wonk, wonk. That's pathetic.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I keep distracting you every time I start to ask you about radio or television and stuff like that. I mean, you wanted to do it since you were in 6th grade, and tell us the progress along the broadcasting lines.
So I told you I went to broadcasting school, and that's where I discovered this business is about who you know. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And I met Johnny Kay. He was the program director at KFI Coast in LA. Mm-hmm. And he did a couple lectures, and I guess I answered a few questions the right way. And so we became friends. Great guy. And he had the Midas touch when it came to radio. He took KFI Coast. He took KFI to, it was playing music at the time. It was within the top 5. Then they made him program director at Coast 103. He took it to number 1. And it was there for years. Mm-hmm. Then he went over to K-Earth 101 out in L.A., and he took that to number 1. And there was another one. Did he do The Wave? I can't remember if he retired from radio a gazillionaire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so he did
there is
quite
one.
well.
There is
yes,
one.
there is somebody. You just it's management. That's where we miss. But he gave me my he introduced me to my first program director in L.A., Mike Lundy, and I did mornings at K94.3. K94.3. San
was
Fernando.
Top 40?
It was AC, soft AC.
Okay. I could tell by the jingle it was in that realm.
After the lovin' with a song I just wrote yesterday.
Good. Wow, that is so good.
Thank you.
The algorithm will pick this up and think that it's the original song itself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's cool. So from there, where did you go?
Living inside myself.
There it is.
Which, by the way, that reminds me of a funny story because Gino Vanelli sang that song.
Mm.
And one day over at the other place, I looked down and I thought, is that Gino Vanelli?
Oh, wow.
He was a guest on the show.
Oh, wow.
I was like, how many times do you... Gino Vanelli? Yeah, I mean, he had that one song.
That's funny.
Living inside myself. But so, yeah, I met Gino Vanelli.
So how'd you get out of L.A. then?
Let's see. I went to KGIL. I went to K-Surf in Santa Monica. Mm-hmm. That was actually owned by 2 guys, one of which is... Stephen Udvar-Hazy. Now, Stephen Udvar-Hazy is you'd know the name if you ever go to the Air and Space Museum, part of the Smithsonian. There is an entire building. It's the Stephen Udvar-Hazy building.
That's a lot of letters on the side of that building.
Yes. And so Stephen Udvar-Hazy has done quite well in the years since owning part of a radio station out in Santa Monica.
So there's, 2 that have been successful. Okay.
And then, from there, I went to K-Ocean in Newport Beach. It's K-Surf, K-Ocean, they're owned by the same company. Okay. So they made me the operations director at K-Ocean in Newport Beach. I had a beautiful office, overlooked Newport Harbor. Just beautiful. Operations manager.
I would, like any other career, right? You would surmise that the person was in LA for a long time, but as radio jobs go, I assume you're going to say that this all these 5-6 stations you've been talking about so far, we've covered 8 months of employment now?
And just 6.
Now, how long were you in LA?
How was it out there? I started in 82, left in 89. So 7 years in and around LA. Okay. And so I was the operations manager, and at the time, Rachel Donahue, whose husband, Tom Donahue, she and her husband started K-Rock out in LA.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Her husband, Tom, is often considered the father of FM rock, the AOR rock format.
Okay.
And Rachel had a show on an Orange County TV station, KDOC, called On the Flip Side. Okay. So I met Rachel through radio, and Rachel offered, she said, "You want to do a few segments for my show?" And so I did. I went out and took a little camera crew, and we did some fun stuff. And so Rachel kind of gave me my start in TV out there. And so I did that, ended up getting fired from the radio station because let's just say the guy I worked for was... I should probably just end the sentence right there. That will keep me out of any libel or slander suits. So
not a good guy.
The guy that I worked for was a guy. Right. What you said. I mean, you said it, not me. So,
right.
So that was that started the period during which I couldn't get arrested in L.A. and that led me to the going to Nashville, look around for a job in radio. But that's when I found the job on the Nashville network. In Nashville.
TNN, right?
At TNN, and it was because of the stuff that Rachel Donahue had me do. Plus, I also had a Woody out in California.
I'm sorry?
A Woody. It's right there. It's on the shelf. It's a Woody Award.
Oh, look at there.
It's from Lakewood Community Television. It is the 1988 LCTV Woody Award.
Oh, that's cool.
The tip is kind of cracked off because it fell. But that's it's a nice Woody Award.
The tip of your Woody is cracked?
Yeah, it is.
Wow, well, you got to take better care of it, man.
I know, right? It's I could polish it up a little bit, but it's
wait till I leave.
It's that crystal there is just nice. If you shine it up, it's all polished.
So you got to Nashville.
Mm-hmm. And got to Nashville.
So were you in Nashville before you got on with TNN?
No, I went there. I flew there, did an audition. I went and left my demo tape. They were these things called cassettes back then.
Right, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
Because I'm not old enough to know what you're talking about.
Of course.
They're all over my garage,
these, you would chisel into the cassette with a stonemason's chisel. You would, the little grooves that it would read. I dropped off my cassettes at all the radio stations, and then I think at the time my sister-in-law said she knew somebody at the Nashville network, or knew a guy, or knew somebody else who knew a guy. Mm-hmm. And they said, if you can get a tape out there in the next hour, they're about to leave, but they'll, So I did that and dropped it off. And his name's Alan Reed. He's still, he created the professional bull riding, PBR.
Oh, nice.
Chunk of change. But he was also one of Bernie Madoff's clients.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the ups and downs. But Alan gave me a job doing feature pieces for a show called American Magazine. And that led to a couple other shows, Holiday Gourmet, and that was with John Davidson. Remember him from Real People?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So John Davidson and Florence Henderson on what was her show called? It was Country Cooking, Country Kitchen. That's it, with Florence Henderson, and she's a trip. It was so weird to see her with her husband John, because when it looked like she was cheating on Mike Brady. Every time she comes, it's like, oh, this just does not look right. You should be
Right.
with, where's Mike? And does Mike know who this man is? But it was just really weird. And she was real nice, and she and Alan would have fights all the time. And it was funny because she knew her mic was open. She'd be out on the set, and she'd be just cussing up a blue streak at him. And Alan at the time, he was had a little bit of a temper. He was fond of throwing coffee mugs across the control room. So
full coffee mugs?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, no.
And so his wife just knew when to duck. He'd duck and hit. So that was, he's such a good guy, though.
Sounds like it.
Well, the funny thing is,
Sounds like a charmer.
we got to see him. We talked to him because he's, all of those things that really irritated us about him back then as a boss, we now understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's why he did. Oh, that's why he did that.
That's why he launched coffee mugs across the room every 5 minutes.
Exactly. So, you know, as you get older, you learn why people, and you want to throw your own coffee mug. And doing then we started doing shows for HGTV after TNN kind of went by the wayside. They destroyed it.
What? I mean, 'cause that was a big thing. They became, TNN became...
I'll tell you.
I don't want to say CMT.
No, CMT was a separate network. CMT still exists.
But they became like a sports weird
thing. It
thing.
became Spike.
Like Spike. I knew it was like Dude Sports or something.
First, they kept TNN and they called it the National Network.
Oh, really?
And then it turned into Spike. And then Spike became G4.
I don't know. After Spike, I lost interest.
TNN was such a great, and it still would work today. They tried to resurrect it at one point, but it's kind of what RFD TV would be if it was ever managed correctly. Did I say that out loud? Sorry. But it's TNN, great concept. It just it had a good run. They've since torn the studio and the building down, so it doesn't exist any longer. They've torn the apartment down where I lived. You can never go home.
No.
You really can't.
No, where I grew up looks like crap too, so I'm with you.
It's really sad.
Yeah. Okay, so from TNN, were you gone from there before they became Spike and all that stuff?
Yeah, I still did work for Reedland Productions, which was the production company. That's when we started doing stuff for HGTV.
What were you doing at TNN, like on the camera?
A show, American Magazine was also did some pieces for Florence Henderson's Country Kitchen.
Okay,
for Holiday Gourmet, all the shows that we did for them.
So you did basically a lot of stuff on that.
It was contracts. So. You got paid $400 a week and you did whatever.
I see.
You got paid millions a week and you did whatever. It's the people who think that television is glamorous and they bring in barrels full of money.
That's a good joke you got there.
I know it is. Really
okay,
is.
so from TNN, you went where?
From TNN, we started doing shows for HGTV,
right.
And then HGTV launched DIY. The Do-It-Yourself Network.
Got it.
Jim Lina was the guy who was choosing the hosts for DIY, and he, looking back on it now, it's kind of strange, but he hired me, and he said that I reminded him of Matt Lauer, which at the time was quite a compliment.
Wow. Well, okay then. Did you have a button in your office?
I did. It was great. Doesn't I miss those days. It was, So they hired me at it was Scripps Productions, who was doing the home repair and remodeling show for DIY. So Christy Bruce was the producer of that, and I remember I was in Dallas. Going to the Home Builder show that year was 1998. And I remember I had a cell phone, apparently. And
that's early, man.
I know. Was it 98? 98, 99?
I just know that in spring of 98, there was one person on the college campus, University of Nebraska, that I knew that had a cell phone. And boy, she made sure that everybody knew.
Was it the brick one?
I have a cellular phone.
Was it in a bag or was it just a big brick?
No. I do remember the bag phones from the 80s because I remember, get this, there was an exterminator showed up at my house and he had a bag phone. This would have been 87, 88, somewhere in there. And I thought, Whoa.
Those commercials are still on YouTube. You can look up the Radio Shack bag phone, and the guy comes up, sits on the park bench, sits the bag next to him, takes the phone out. It's like, whoa, that's convenient. Look at that. You can take that anywhere.
So what happened between bag phones in the late 80s that I remember and cell phones appearing around 98 or so in my world? There's a 10-year gap where I just didn't have any exposure to them. Did I miss out or something?
That's a good question. They didn't. I remember I had a car phone in like 94, 93, 94. So that was kind of cool. You get into your...
Oh, that's right. It was hardwired.
Yeah.
That's
you get
right.
into your car, and it was a truck, and you get in there, and you could...
I'm sorry. I had a friend who had that hardwired in his car.
Yeah.
So, and that was, mid-90s, yeah.
And you could, and not only that, but you could get phones for free. They would give you phones.
Yeah, it was like a penny if you sign a contract.
Yeah, that was back. They wanted to, and they were smart because a phone is nothing but a gumball machine. They give you the gumball machine, then you end up buying the gumballs forever. Mm-hmm. And so the minutes back then were the gumballs. Yeah. So they give you it's free. Take it. You'll love this. Just here, take it, try it. Just take it home.
And then before you know it, you're saying, Nana, I told you don't call this number until after 7 o'clock or I get unhappy.
Right. Remember those days?
Free nights and weekends.
How many minutes over? Oh!
Yeah, that was the thing. Is I would wake up really early. This is when I worked in Houston with Pat. Mm-hmm. Pat Gray. I produced that show, Pat Gray Unleashed, for those that may not be familiar.
I've heard that name.
You have? Okay. So I remember I would go to bed so early that I would be asleep before my minutes were free, and I was so mad. I was like, I'm missing out. And so then the weekends would come, and you'd call everybody. You had to catch up with everybody. It's like, all right, who's next? Okay, give me the phone.
I'm calling you from the car. Woo, that sounds so clear. It's like you're next door. And now they've become like a ball and chain.
Right. Now your whole life is on that phone, and it's like...
They were brilliant. They sucked us right in. And
on top of that, we're paying $1,000 to get a new one every 6 months.
Yes.
Give me a break.
They were brilliant. They were brilliant when they did it all. They did everything right. They hooked us. They reeled us in. They filleted us. And
now we're wiping our noses every time we pick up our phones.
Right.
I gotta have my phone. Where's my phone?
Where's my phone? It's separation anxiety. It's you can't leave your house without it.
Oh, yeah. I'm terrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
I don't like it. I think I used to like talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I hate it now.
Oh, wait a minute. You just reminded me. That's what this thing is for talking.
I know, right?
I wasn't sure. I thought it was just for emails and Twitter.
There's more computing power in that than they had aboard the space capsule when they landed on the moon.
I've heard that.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
If only you could see us right now as we push our glasses up above the bridge of our noses.
This has been At the Mic with Keith, an independent podcast production. Look for At the Mic Show on Twitter to connect.